Rapunzel, let down your hair. Oh.
Bahnsteig 8D bis E. Bis 2 nach Freilassing fährt ein.
And there is no sidewalk from the train station. As you can see, it's very pretty here, but a bit hilly, and the walk is a little dubious. So keep that in mind if you decide to do what I do, which is to take public transportation. It's been really great in Vienna, pretty good in Salzburg, but out here in the sticks, obviously not so much. I assume that Fantasiana basically just serves locals who drive there, except for the occasional crazy park enthusiast. Don't know what that sign means. I thought that was the station. Maybe it's telling me I'm leaving the city of Strasswalchen. There it is, my first glimpse of Fantasiana. At least the main road the park is actually on has a sidewalk. Okay, almost there. Only 50 meters. So after about a 35-minute train ride from Salzburg, and then another 35 minutes on foot through the wild of Strasswalchen, I finally made it to the world's most remote theme park. Good evening. I'm Eric, the channel is Aggressive Rolling, and this is Fantasiana. The park entrance is like a smaller version of the one at Efteling in the Netherlands, but there are far worse places to emulate, and I think this one has some unique charm of its own, especially with the way it incorporates the Knights Ride Tower into it. More on that one later. The park's mascot is named Fridolin, and, well, I can't seem to find a name for the other one, but Fridolin assures me that she's just a magical friend, whatever that means. Once inside the front gate, you can go right down a narrow Old West Main Street, or left towards the Sunny Bay area and the park's biggest coaster, Helios. Helios opened in 2025, replacing a PAX Wild Train. If you don't know what that is, well, you know how sometimes kiddie coasters throw you around more than a lot of big adult ones? A wild train is sort of the ultimate expression of that. Helios is clearly now the park's star attraction. The whole area looks great, and the ride is well themed and presented. It's a Big Dipper with Striker coaster trains. But as both of those models are by Mack, and obviously close enough that the trains are interchangeable, I'm not sure we really need to make the distinction. I'd been on the original Big Dipper, Lost Gravity, at Wallaby Holland and quite enjoyed it, and I'd heard a lot of good things about this one. I wouldn't say that this was my primary reason for visiting, but its opening did gain the park enough attention to put it on my radar. And it was good. Mostly. It has a pre-lift section with a projection of flaming horses, airtime, lots of hang time, an outer-banked camelback, and even a station fly-through. The layout is on the shorter side, but interesting, although it does get progressively less exciting as it goes. There aren't any jolts or roughness per se, however, there is a rather distinct rattle. It's less pronounced in the middle seats, as you might expect, but it's still there regardless. Of the 4 Big Dipper models currently operating, I've now been on 3 of them, and I must say that this is my least favorite. Which is not to say that it's bad. I still had fun on it, I just wish it didn't vibrate quite so much. Helios is of course the Greek god of the sun. Don't feel bad if you didn't know that. Like many Greek gods, he's often overshadowed by his Roman counterpart, Apollo. Thus, the flaming horses. Her name is probably Fridolina or some such. That's usually how parks name their mascots when there's 2 that are similar looking. I guess they're elves or something? There's a model of the ride just outside the exit, along with a nice little seating area. Why is there a church here? Well, Might as well do some worshiping. Oh, it's like the park founders or something. Okay, geez, I get it. They got to run their own amusement park and now they get to be dead. I was jealous enough already, sheesh. Next to Helios are upcharge bumper cars. I'd never seen that before, but maybe it makes sense from a capacity standpoint?
Alright, looks like there used to be a train ride, but perhaps no longer, or maybe this is just the end station. This part of the park kind of dead ends at this dinosaur area.
Lyrosaurus is an SBF Visa Star Flyer. It has great theming, and an indoor queue/pre-show laboratory or field research outpost or something. This is why I so strongly favor European parks over American ones. While there are exceptions, American parks tend to be all about coasters and thrills, or in the case of Disney and Universal, pushing the edge on immersive theming, although far too often these days on things like shopping experiences and novelty beverages. Whereas European parks put their money into fun theming that enhances their rides, and tend to have a wider variety of experiences. They're also very often weirder, yay, though that might just be a cultural thing. My general feeling about Star Flyers is that they tend to be both kind of boring and utterly terrifying at the same time. But this one at least had an interesting cycle, with the ride speeding up and slowing down combined with altitude changes throughout. While not terribly tall, this might very well be my favorite ride of this type. Back to the aforementioned Old West Main Street that connects the left and right sides of the park.
Die Show beginnt. Applaus für unsere bärenstarke Truppe Cool Beers. Applaus, Applaus! 1, 2, 3.
Not sure what's going on there, but on the left is Mamiwata, which is the world's shortest log flume. Well, probably not actually. But if it isn't at least the shortest full-sized adult one, I'm not sure what is. I imagine the goal was to cut out most of the cruising around sections in order to be able to afford to build it, while still keeping the exciting stuff. It has an African theme, complete with an animatronic toucan in the queue. Of course, he only speaks bird language, but it turns out that's very similar to German.
Einen sprechenden Tukan gesehen? Gefährlich! Wasser! Viel Wasser!
I got pretty wet on the thing, despite being by myself. The ride-up did make me sit in the front, though, rather than the back like I wanted. Not the first time I've encountered this in Europe. Not sure if it's an actual balance thing or just a sort of anti-American prank. Here you can see almost the entire layout. Straight out of the station, you head up a short lift to a turntable, followed by a backwards drop, a turn, a very short straightaway, a U-turn, and then into the elevator lift. Then the big drop, run out, another U-turn, and just enough track to stack all the logs before returning to the station. I admire the minimalism of it all, but it does feel a bit short. The log flume wasn't too racist, so let's check out the Jeep Safari. Oh. Well... Hey look, a lake.
I do not know how this ride works. I don't think he's supposed to be there.
I'm going to spare you any more of this insane engine noise, but believe me when I say that it sounds like that the entire time. Hippos, I love you! Sorry, just trying to scare them off with Jungle Cruise jokes. I want a commitment. These wild swings by Art Engineering have been popping up all over the place lately, but Fantasiana's was the first, opening in 2023. They're fun, but make me slightly nauseous? Which is weird, because not many rides do, and this is very much a family attraction. None of these figures seem to actually move or anything, and you have to tell all the jokes yourself. But what are you supposed to do if you've never been on Jungle Cruise? Tell knock-knock jokes? Hey, why does Fantasiana have a Jungle Cruise ride? Sort of. But Disneyland Paris doesn't. Hell if I know. Here's another little reminder of that noise I've been sparing you.
Hey look, little kids can slide from the path right into the murky water. You're not louder than me, Duck.
Ihr könntet es ein Leben lang bereuen. Nun, viel Spaß!
Ahoi! Ich bin Sindbad, der Herr der 7 Meere. Habt ihr Mut und starke Nerven? Dann kommt mit auf meine fantastische Abenteuerreise. Ich rate euch, bleibt sitzen und haltet euch fest.
Sinbad's adventure journey is a sort of classic Geisterbahn, with random monsters and jump scares, but all tied together with a Sinbad theme. It's 2 stories, and the boat-themed ride vehicles can rotate to point you at whatever they want you to see. This is sometimes strangely implemented, however, and the rotation can be a bit janky. Whether these things make for a better or worse ghost train experience is hard to say, as when it comes to dark rides, poorly implemented scenes can be as delightful as spectacularly good ones. In fact, there was really only one thing I didn't like, and that was the repeated use of the same audio clip of a human, presumably, woman screaming. We never see her, but she screams when there's a monster, screams as part of some monster's growls, and screams for no apparent reason, all in exactly the same manner. To try to fix this, I decided to pretend that she was just an easily frightened guest who was supposed to be in the seat behind me, which helped a little, but didn't entirely solve the problem. It was still a pretty good dark ride, but that part was annoying. And my goal here with these videos is to share my experiences with you, whether they be good or bad. So here's some more. The ride isn't particularly well representative of the Sinbad stories, but if they were, I don't think you'd want to sail with this guy anyway. He's constantly getting shipwrecked and all his companions die. He seems pretty chipper about it though.
Ahoi! Land in Sicht! Ihr habt Mut und starke Nerven bewiesen. Ich freue mich auf unser nächstes Abenteuer. Ahoi! Ahoi!
Sinbad's Burger Restaurant, you say?
Ladies and gentlemen, content. Pretty good.
While there is some good theming here, there's not what you would necessarily call good show. This is pretty cool. You have a relaxing swinging chair where you can sit and watch the swinging ride.
Next up, a fairy tale forest where everyone walks backwards.
Und die Jagdhunde hatten ihre Augen fest geschlossen. Die Tauben hatten ihre Köpfchen in die Flügel gesteckt und die Flügel.
Das ist eine gute Idee, lieber Herr Wolf. Das klingt gut. Und so schlüpfte das Rotkäppchen an den bunten
Very convincing.
Der Wolf aber lief so schnell, er konnte ins Haus der Großmutter, verschluckte sie, setzte sich auf der Erde schneiden.
It is said, the denizens of Mushroom Town speak only in Germanic Elf. But if you give yourself over to the magic of the highway, you may begin to understand what they are saying.
Hallo, liebe Kinder. Ich bin hier der Schneidermeister. Maus hier. Hört ihr, wie sie nun jammert? Weil sie solche Schmerzen hat. Also, noch einmal. Ich glaube kaum, dass ich sie noch reparieren kann. Kauft ihr am besten gleich neue. Heute erst habe ich... Ihr seid... Ja. Was macht ihr? Kauft ihr am besten gleich neue. Kauft ihr am besten gleich neue.
Not all things are meant for human ears, and if you venture too far, you may encounter a strange parody of Efteling's pooping donkey.
Vomiting donkey.
I love a good vintage car ride, and this one is especially weird. So let's enjoy old-timer fun together, shall we? Sloth's Dracula is a walkthrough attraction with animatronics, live actors, and special effects. About halfway through, the tour guide, who is supposed to be Dracula's familiar, realized that I had no idea what he was saying and started doing his speeches in both German and English. Which was very sweet, but kind of embarrassing because everyone else had to hear everything twice. It also was not really necessary because it basically amounted to Dracula is having you for dinner, and I pretty much got that before I entered the building. I'd heard that it was overly long, but maybe because I'd heard that, it didn't seem too bad. I quite enjoyed it, and it was certainly unique. I don't know when it opened, or if it's undergone any changes over the years, but it very much feels like it was once the park's star attraction.
Wir müssen das Schloss erreichen, bevor die Geisterstunde beginnt. Weiter geht's.
Meine Brüder und Schwestern, seid willkommen in dieser Nacht. Heute wollen wir feiern.
Luckily, I escaped with all of my blood, but Dracula wasn't so lucky, getting staked through the heart while he slept by some nerd-ass doctor. He still did better than my camera, though, whose weakness is apparently spinning tunnels in the dark. Western Express may be a stupid ride for babies, and for me, the equivalent of attending your niece's pretend tea party with her stuffed animals because you're a tea connoisseur, but I am a big stupid baby, and I'm always interested in seeing what a park does with any sort of ride. It was decently long for a train with just one station, the figurines were good drinking companions, and it even had an indoor section. Still, after all that pretend tea, I was ready for something harder and headed to the saloon. Judge me if you like, but I'm pretty sure to have a niece you must first have a sibling, and I'm an only child and also the only child who matters. Listen up, partner. I built up a powerful thirst riding around on the Western Express, and I'll have your meanest ice-cold ombre sundae, please. Which is definitely a real thing, or at the very least should be. And make it snappy.
I think I accidentally got a coffee-flavored ice cream. So, whoops.
Okay, it's time to talk about the Knight's Ride Tower. This is an indoor family drop tower / dark ride, which sounds like it would be really cool, and I was excited to check it out. Unfortunately, it was ultimately very disappointing. To explain why, though, we need to talk about poor park policies.
They wouldn't let me wear my glasses on this ride. Even with a strap.
They didn't allow it on Helios either, but at least Helios is a roller coaster that goes upside down and has actual forces.
So while I still strongly disagree with that policy, I almost get it.
Knight's Ride Tower, on the other hand, has no airtime whatsoever. If your glasses fall off on this thing, they'd fall off just standing on the street. It's also completely enclosed, so even if you took your glasses off and tried to throw them, the only person on the ground is the ride operator, and they're in a booth with a window. What I'm getting at here is the complete and utter lack of danger to you, your glasses, or anyone else.
Indeed, the safest place for my glasses is on my face, and the safest condition for me to be in is wearing my glasses. But the truly offensive thing here is that this is mostly a dark ride.
The seats rise up one floor at a time, stopping to show you a series of blurry, impossible to make out show scenes. Some little cords under the seats lightly brush against the back of your legs to indicate scurrying critters underfoot, so I'm guessing that at least one scene has something to do with rats or something. Then there's a small, mild drop, followed by the reveal of something indistinct embedded in the floor.
Or at least that's how everything looked to me. Look, I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it, so I'll just say that I consider this the greatest travesty of justice ever perpetuated against anyone in the entire history of mankind's sad and brutal existence on this planet, and leave it at that. Otherwise, I had a pretty good time.
The park's other coaster is Fridoline's Verrückter Zauberexpress, which roughly translates into English as Eric will never learn to speak German, but which more precisely translates as Fridoline's Crazy Magic Express. This is a Mack family multi-launch coaster, though the launches are quite tame, of course. It goes through the layout twice, and Fridolin hangs off the back of the train, presumably propelling you with his elf magic or whatever. It's fun for what it is, though the area built around it, Magisches Dorf, or Magical Village, while themed well enough, feels a bit small and underdeveloped. Also, no sign of Fridolina. I guess we've moved on.
The operator might have asked me if I was ready. He might have asked me anything. I said, sorry, I don't know. And he sent me, so I guess it's good.
This small Ferris wheel offers some nice views of this side of the park, as well as the Austrian countryside. And making these videos helps me cement such memories. But of course humans are evolutionarily incapable of being happy for long, and already this joyous recollection threatens to teeter over into sadness that I am not there now, and that these moments exist only in the past. But such is life on a Ferris wheel.
Sun is getting me.
Damn you, Helios. Get your stupid flaming horses out of here.
Okay, so this is the exit to the park, and inside is an attraction that you will only see if you're ready to leave. What is this?
Deine Zukunft wissen. Über Geld, Glück und Liebe. Willst du deine Zukunft wissen? Über Geld, Glück und Liebe. Willst du deine Zukunft wissen? Über Geld, Glück und Liebe.
I like to give amusement parks I visit a rating, because comparing things to one another makes everything worse. I liked Fantasiana, but I wanted to love it, and I didn't. Maybe my expectations were too high, but then again, I don't think expecting to be able to wear my glasses on a dark ride is a particularly pie-in-the-sky aspiration. That's just frustrating, and yeah, it's gonna bring the park score down to a 6. 6. Which is still pretty good. Don't make the mistake of thinking that anything below a 5 is bad. I like amusement parks, and I would rather go to a park that's a 2 than a furniture store that's a 9. I know, I'm confusing. But that's why you love me. You guys love me, right? Auf Wiedersehen. Rapunzel.